morning, everyone.
Morning.
Oh, wow, so happy. I haven't heard that in a long time because of COVID. That's amazing, like all the voices in unison. I'm so happy to see everybody. My name is Ahmad Khalik. I'm the Baltimore Program Director of the Herbert J. Halter Vocational Training Center. And welcome to our 914 Spring Cohort Completion Ceremony. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. For the past 3.5, almost 4 months, the men and women sitting in this room have came in every day, worked super hard at learning something that they believe in. We all believe in this building is going to help them change their lives. And it's been a pleasure to watch it. This is my first cohort to see from beginning to today. I don't say ending, so beginning to today. And it's just the stories that I've heard, the people that I met, the connections that I made. I can't wait to see how that blossoms and grows into fruition. I've seen people do stuff that I didn't think was possible, and I've seen people accomplish things that I go home and tell my wife, like, man, you won't believe what this person accomplished today. It brings me to a level of emotion because I understand the value of things that we're doing here. So I'm not going to take up too much time. I just want to get yourself together, but I do want to welcome my supervisor, the person that makes sure that I have what I need every day to support students and to keep this facility running, Kayla Dorsey Alexander.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Good. Good. Can we get a check on that, Ahmad? Okay. So my name again is Kayla Dorsey Alexander. I am the Regional Executive Director for the Herbert J. Halter Vocational Training Centers. So Baltimore is my heart. I started here as an assistant, and now I'm overseeing what will be 3 centers in about 3 more weeks. So we launched, Baltimore's been open since September of 2017. North Carolina, we did January 2020 in Charlotte. We opened Raleigh, North Carolina, as well as Philadelphia this past April, and DC is coming in 3 more weeks. So I oversee Baltimore, DC, and Philadelphia, and it's a pleasure. It warms my heart to see this room full. I can't wait for our next graduation ceremony where hopefully we can invite family and friends again, but this is progression. So I'm so ecstatic that you all have officially completed. You all are getting your industry recognized credentials. CDL, I'm hearing that you guys are smashing it. We're still battling with MVA and this trouble with COVID, but we are trucking through, and all I can say is thank you to you all. Thank you all for believing in us and allowing us to assist you. Thank you all for believing in yourselves and making a difference, and also making a way for those behind you that you can refer to our program, that you can say, well, I got my career started at the Herbert J. Halter Vocational Training Center, and now I'm here, and you can do it too. Because I know that you all have family and friends that know a different side of you, so now you guys are starting your career paths, changing your lives, and you can be that light in someone else's life to encourage them to do the same. I know we have some students who have started businesses as a result of their time with us here, a short 15 weeks, an extremely short 15 weeks. So I'm proud of you all. I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I can't wait to hear what progress you guys make after you leave. Give it 3 more months, another 15 weeks. I can't wait to hear about your progress and what you're doing, because I know that it's going to be phenomenal. When you believe in yourself, there's a power that you awaken that you kind of just keep moving and pushing along, and you end up in places that you never quite imagined, or if you did, you didn't quite think or understand how you would get there. So what I'm going to do, I know that we have a few student speakers, so I want to start with automotive. And then we will do HVAC. So Vernon, if you could make your way to the front, Mr. Vernon Brown, he is our awesome automotive instructor. So we'll start with Vernon. Vernon will introduce his student speaker, and then we'll go with Rob McLaughlin. with HVAC, and then he'll introduce his student speaker. We'll go with culinary with Chef Krista, and last but not least, Jim Trocki, our awesome CDL Class B instructor, who will introduce himself and his student speaker. So first, we'll have Vernon Brown to introduce automotive.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. This is new for me. So I'm bringing up the speaker, or I'm bringing up... I ain't got nothing nice to say about it. I'm bringing up one of my brightest students, this cohort. She's a really go-getter. She's a little different, meaning when she came in the course, she really wanted this. And that's one of the first days she said, "Brad, I really need this." So what I said, so we got to start from the beginning. If you come, we're gonna make this happen. And she was lucky enough, before the 15 weeks, she walked out of here in maybe 14 weeks, not even that, 12 weeks, and she got a job. And so she started this job, this adventure, in this new world she's entering. And from that point, she got this job. And ever since then, she calls me every day, "Brown, I need a decision I have to make." And then she went from one company to another company. She went to Mazda. She just got a new job at Mazda. Remember, 2 months in, she got MTB. From there, she went from MTB, she went from Mazda. "Vernon, I don't know what to do. They want to pay me here, pay me this money, but I don't know what to do." Go to Mazda. Why go to Mazda, Brown? Because it's going to walk you from the beginning to wherever you want to go. All you have to do is invest in yourself. I tell them all that. Invest in yourself. Open up the books. Keep opening up the books, reading. The more you read, the more you learn, the more you make. And so I'm going to bring Sherry up because she's the prime example of this program.
First of all, I want to say we did that. Okay? When I came to this program, I was, it wasn't even for me, it was for my son. A friend of his went through this program, his name is Richard, and he now works for Honda, and he offered to my son because he realized he was in need of change. I offered to do it with my son because I was interested in mechanics, and I wanted to show him, hey, I'll walk you straight through the whole program. He decided to go another way, but I started, so I wanted to finish. When I came to the program, I had no mechanical knowledge. I could tell you coolant, stop your car from overheating. You know, I could tell you my car take 530, and I don't even know what 530 is. But when I got into this program and I started to learn from my teacher, I learned things other than I expected. You know, I learned from Mr. Sean on how to present myself in interviews. You know, I learned to listen and diagnose and to proceed with things in a different way. Mr. Brown is an awesome teacher. He didn't only teach me the fundamentals that we learned in class, he helped me make life-changing decisions. I was on unemployment. I was making $730 a week, sitting at home. My first job offer, and I had 7 while I was in this class, was $12.25 an hour. And I said to Mr. Brown, it doesn't make sense to me to do that. Why should I do that? He told me that I had to start somewhere and I needed to invest in myself. If I invest in myself, everything will come to me. And boy, did it come to me. When I was working at NTB, I progressed in that program. They put me in an accelerated program to become a technician. And one day I got a call from Mazda. I'll call Brown. Because I didn't understand the magnitude of what was being offered to me. NTB tried to counter offer with giving me flat rate. And I didn't understand how that wasn't the move for me at that time because I didn't have enough knowledge. But he helped me make that decision. I did go to Mazda late for the interview because I took my air conditioning certification that day. Even being late to that interview, the skills Sean gave me from this class helped me to get that job. I do work for Mazda. I'm one class away from being a technician, and I am on my path that I want to be on, and it's because of this class. But I wanted to say this: we're all the same in the way of criminally challenged human beings. And sometimes when you're criminally challenged, you don't see the finish line. You don't feel like you have the chance or the right, or people not gonna do for you. I'm here to tell you, I'm 47 years old. I am a felon. I work at Mazda. I'm on my way. I have a bright future. And no one closed the door that I couldn't go around or through a window. We did this, all of us. The criminally challenged, we did this. And thank you, Herbert, for this program, and I appreciate you very much.
So clearly you can say that the program do work. I just wanted y'all to know, if y'all didn't know that, the program do work if you come.
Hey! So you're all fired. Listen, we've been doing this for a few years now, and it just keeps getting better and better. This isn't high school. There isn't anybody that attends this class that this is all they've got going on in their lives. To get up in the morning or to come home after working all night long, take a quick shower, and come all the way here to listen to us, to invest in yourselves. It shows what you are. And you need to be very, very proud of that person in the mirror, because everybody else here is proud of you. You've earned this. You've worked hard for it, but this is just the first step. This is just the beginning. If you don't take this and run with it, you can't ever say you didn't get a break. Okay? Not that I don't think each and every one of you won't succeed. I'm so very, very proud of all of you, not just the HVAC, but all the vocations we have here. HVAC in particular, putting up with me bouncing around off the walls. Thank you for letting me cut back on my coffee. But you guys have been great. And when I was asked to pick a speaker to speak for the class, I could have just put the student list up on the board and just thrown a dart, and any of you would have been great. That dart landed on Rodney Jones. Got it right, didn't I? So Rodney's been through a lot. I'm gonna let him tell his story. Rodney, come on up.
How everybody doing? I'm a little nervous, so y'all excuse me. But I'm a little nervous, so y'all excuse me. But I want to thank Rob and of course NCIA. I heard about this program through my parole officer, and it's crazy because as soon as she gave me the information, I forgot the guy's name, but I contacted and gave me all the information. I'm sorry about that if I forgot your name, but he know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he gave me the information, told me what I gotta do on my end. I got that done. He told me when the next cohort start, and I started. In the midst of that, he asked me what program. I said HVAC, because I don't like getting dirty, so all the mechanic was out of the window. And I ain't had my full license, so CDL was out the window. And then culinary arts, I mean, I like to cook, but, you know, I figured HVAC was where it was, so, you know, I shot with that, man. And since, you know, day one, you know, it's been awesome, man. It's actually a life-changing opportunity for me. You know, I've been home like 16 months and, you know, working jobs that, you know, I gotta work to keep my PO off my hind parts. A lot of us know what that's like. But, you know, and I wasn't happy. So I figured, you know, I'd do something that I probably would enjoy. And you know, I learned a trade, and it's something they can't take from me. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I'm actually certified. It's crazy because once I started the program, like 2-3 weeks in, I got a call from Red Cross because I'm certified in phlebotomy too. I got a call from Red Cross offering me a job. You get what I'm saying? And I turned it down. You know, just, you know, like, but they like, you call me, you know, whenever you know, if that don't work out, give us a call. So, long story short, you know, I graduate. Well, this the day graduation. You know what I mean, you know, I'm excited. It's crazy because I had a job offer for SIS, right? Went through everything, you know, background check, all that. Got the job offer on the table, $18 an hour. To turn around, maybe like a week later, for them to take the offer off the table because of my background, right? So, of course, I'm a little discouraged because I went in there, killed the interview, 45 minutes, an hour early to the interview, killed it. You know what I mean? And they, you know, it was a little discouraging, but at the end of the day, I kept moving. Had an interview probably like a week later for Sesha, I don't know how to pronounce it, sheet metal. It's a little less money, but it's an opportunity, you know, it's a life-changing opportunity for me. So I went ahead, went to the interview, killed the interview, actually start Monday. Yeah. So, like I say, man, it's a life-changing opportunity for me. You know, it's crazy because I ended up catching COVID while I was in the program, but, you know, I kept moving online every day, 10 days straight online. As soon as I get cleared, I bring my hind parts right back to school, you know, doing everything I need to do to, you know, be successful. Despite, you know, what I'm going through outside of school, you know, I still made sure this was my main focus. So, like I said, I'm doing this for my kids, you know. And I want to thank Rob and, of course, NCIA for giving me the opportunity. And I'm going to put this out there. I want to apologize to Rob. One day we had a misunderstanding, right? And you just ain't going to tell me to leave, and I'm trying to learn what I need to learn. The real talk.
It wasn't all him.
Yeah,
it wasn't all him.
Yeah, to move forward. So that's dead. Like, you ain't call whoever you need to call, get whoever you need to get, but I ain't leaving this seat. So, so like I say, it was a misunderstanding. You know, I got much respect for Rob, but that day I wasn't having it. Yeah, I mean, and I had a conversation with Ahmad, and we got it situated. And like I said, I just, you know, I wasn't having it. But I want to thank y'all. Of course, my class, the best morning class ever. Like I built so many relationships with a lot of those guys in that class. And it's much love, much respect for a lot of you guys. And like I said, thanks again for the opportunity. And, you know, yes, man.
So listen, one more thing I want to put out. We could not have gotten through the past year without Herb, Gary, Kayla, Serena, backing us up, backing those of us that were in the trenches every single day during the zombie apocalypse to get us through. We're through now. No more WebEx, no more virtual. It's all in the class now, right, Vern? Congratulations to everybody.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Jim Truckee, CDL instructor. Good morning. Good morning. First off, I'd like to have every one of my students come up and say something, because I'll tell you, I taught a lot of cohorts, but this one was lightning in a bottle. And doesn't happen often, but I don't even have the words, because you'd have to been there. And you know, to see a group of people who were strangers at first bond together in the classroom, and you know, what started out to be I became we, and it's a wonderful thing. And my girls, all my girls, Roberta, Sheila, Chantel, look, they smoked most of the guys, to be honest with you, on the testing and just about every way. But one thing I got to say, that, you know, each one of them drew off the other. You know, when one was feeling a little bit slumped, the other one picked up the slack, and it was very productive. And again, I've taught a lot of cohorts since I've been around, and we've licensed more people in this cohort before the cohort ended than any that I've ever taught. Some weeks before the cohort ended. Earl Blanding, who's here, Earl was, yeah, man, Earl was the first out of his cohort, like 2 weeks before we even ended. First, and most of my folks, the first time up there at MVA, and MVA, let me tell you right now, is a mess, an absolute travesty, and we shined. We really did, man, because most of my folks, the first time up there, right out of the gate, Roberta being another one, Thomas, Dante, all of them. I mean, they pretty much knocked it out of the park. So as far as, you know, again, if I had my way, I'd have all my students say something. But Dante, we grew quite close. Young guy, 25 years old. I can only tell you where I was at 25. I was leaving my first drug and alcohol rehab in 1985. So to see a young man come into a vocation like this and be able to be grounded like he was, and excel beyond what I thought was imaginable. Again, this cohort was lightning in a bottle, and always, every one of my students, and they're still out there. They're still really excelling. So, Dante, you want to come up and say a few things?
I'm a little nervous, but first thing first, congratulations to everybody. Hard work, dedication. And no half step will be our closing line, all right? It's called no half step. Maurice came to me, like I was literally on the corner of Biddle and Patterson Park. I was hustling, and he came to me, asked me, he said, "What you doing with yourself?" I said, "I'm going to work." He said, "Where you work at?" I told him I do assisted living. He said, "Where you at now?" I'm like, "I'm outside." He said, "That's not where you need to be." So he gave me his card. This was back in November. He gave me his card. I ain't really think nothing of it, but then I sat down and thought about it, and like, I'm young, so I ain't really care. I'm like, I got enough time, but a lot of people don't got enough time at my age, so I went ahead and called them, and then I came here, but still coming, I didn't really think like I'm gonna finish it, cause it's the fourth college, the first one I finished, so I'm like, I don't really care about nobody, I'm just trying to get in here and go on. But as the time go on, I grew bonds with my whole class, and wherever I fell, they picked me up because I had a clouded judgment, so I ain't really think. And then I was more so pissing on my talent. Is that how it go? I was pissing on my talent because I knew all the stuff that I learned here already. So I'm like, I don't really need this. I'm just showing up just to show up. But then I started getting more into it as I grew bonds with the class. I started actually looking at the people like they family. So, because I came in by myself, I ain't really had nobody before I came here. So, dang. Dang. I don't like being put on the spot. I'm a little nervous. But I love them guys, man. Like, we came from like he said, we come from a criminal background of mistakes. It's hard for us to get jobs, especially as felons. So when one called me, I took it. Like, I took it around with it, started it, and then a few more started calling. I turned them down just to get my classmates numbers to the job so they can get them too, so I wouldn't be the only one out my cohort. But I done got fired from a regular job because I was leaving early. Like, they ain't understand. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to change my life. And they like, you can't leave work. I said, I'm leaving. Like, go ahead. So they ended up firing me like right before I got my license. So I just devoted all my time here. I was coming in the morning and afternoon just to help my classmates because I already got my license. So I was just helping them. Then I started asking, can I work here? Because I was take their tests and all that. So but all that being said, for real, proud of everybody in here. A lot of people didn't believe we as a culture could actually do something with our life or actually be successful with anything. But this the year for real, the GOATs. Like, they can't stop us or hold us back. And it ain't a shackle in the world. You feel me? Let's go on. Keep us back. But thank y'all, for real. And I want Papetti put me on the spot, so. But I appreciate all y'all. Love you too.
I do want to make one statement that is extremely important. My assistant instructor, Miguel, we could have not gotten the completion rate that we got. Look, when I tell you, we really, and Sean, who is not here, obviously, really helped out to bond this cohort. We got the numbers we got this go around because things just clicked, and we worked hard at it because we were getting our butts kicked. MVA was our only barrier. We talk about barriers a lot around here and barrier removal. Well, that was one barrier we couldn't remove because we were stuck. So what did? We maneuvered around it, and we made it happen. And again, thanks very much to Miguel because he really stepped up and he got our guys excelling to the point where they could go up in the first time, their first test, done, and one and done. So real proud, real proud.
Hi, everyone. Chef Krista, just wanted to say congratulations to everyone. Just wanted to let you know a little bit about the culinary program and how it started here. It was kind of deja vu today when I was prepping for this catering event, this amazing event here, occasion. And Mr. Antonino, Gary Antonino, walked in the kitchen and I said, oh, this is deja vu because about a year ago, or a little more than a year ago, catering this, Mr. Antonino came up to me with Mr. Herbert Halter and Mr. Walter, and asked me if be interested in creating and instructing a culinary arts program. It was something new for me to instruct, but then I thought about, I've always been doing that. You know, when you have your restaurants, you're always training people, so I think I could do this. And then with my background too, I come from a family with addiction and incarceration. So I felt like this was a way for me to do what I love, to cook, to feed people, and to train people to change their legacy, and also to become professional cooks as well, because it could take you many places. On that note, again, this is my fourth, number 4. They just keep getting better and better. At first, it was a small group, and now little for little, it's starting to get a little larger. And I still have students come back and get on some hands-on, and we're still getting them jobs to this day. The COVID definitely pumped the brakes and our streaking hawk when it came to hiring in restaurants. But now it's completely changed. I have my fellow chefs around the city that are begging me for people. So everybody roll your sleeves up, get ready. And so I'm excited about this. So I could have asked a number of students to come up, but this lady here is dear to my heart. It's come my soul sister. Yeah. And she helped me with this. So she blessed the hands that have touched this food. She helped me yesterday through the thick and thin. So it's just she and I. So her name is Ursula Cherry. I'd like to welcome her. What's that? Yes. Yes. You know it. You know we did. Come on.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I would just like to say I'm just like overwhelmed really with all the things that I learned in Chef Krista's class, because I started out at 9 years old cooking. And my father was my worst critic. He gave you no mercy. I knew how to cook, but I didn't know the techniques and the fundamentals. There's more to cooking than just a pan and a pot and some fire and all of that. I didn't know all of that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get in there and I'm just gonna cook. No, you're not. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it. And Chef Krista is just the best, because when she teaches, she is so expressive. And a lot of times she'll say, well, whip it over here, and then she whip it. So I'm like, yeah, I got that. You got to whip it. So it's like, I'm like one of those people a lot of times. I understand by a lot of movements, like I'm older, not that old, and that was another challenge for me as well. I'm like, okay, I am much older. I do not understand anything that she's talking about. It was like a foreign language to me. A lot of the terms were in French, and she just broke it down so easy. And I was like, she was always like, your age doesn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It is never too late to do anything that you want to do. Just go ahead and do it. God's time is his time, is not our time, okay? I just want to say thank you, Krista, again. Thank you, Mr. Walter Phillips. I got on his nerves to get in here. It was like before the holidays came. He was like, after the holidays call. I was texting, is it yet? Can I sign up yet? And the day that he told me to sign up, I tell you, I was right there on it. I've always tried to be on class early. First one here, last one leaving. First one here, last one leaving. I have a passion for cooking. That's my stuff. And I just want to tell everybody, whatever your dream is, go ahead with it. The sky is the limit. Don't stop. And do not let anybody put a bug in your ear. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Isn't that so much better than the videos on YouTube? So this cohort, I had the opportunity to go to Annapolis a couple times with Mr. Walter for some of his recruitment meetings, outreach meetings that he does with potential students. And it was really great for me to see, because you really get to see the point where people are coming to NCIA. And he was explaining his story, and I see why we get what we get, because he has a great interest point to bring people to us. This entire cohort, we've developed a relationship with the Annapolis community through Officer Horn, Kevin, and many different people in the Annapolis area, because we've expanded ourselves to include them, because the need is also there for people in the Annapolis area to get vocational training in the services that we provide. So it made sense when Officer Horn told me, hey, I think Chief Jackson would be a great person to speak for the ceremony, and I said it makes sense to me too. So I talked to my supervisors, it all made sense. So our speaker for this closeout, this completion ceremony, is Annapolis Chief of Police, Ed Jackson. Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, right? We're going to rejoice and be glad in it, right? He didn't have to wake us up today, right? And I'm so delighted to be here. Just a real quick story. I grew up at old Flag House Projects. Anybody remember Flag House? I'm a product of Flag House Projects. Spent my entire childhood there. I graduated from the elementary school. It's now the Stafford Culinary College, or the old David E. Wegline, for those of you old enough to remember, school number 2. I graduated from there. Grew up in East Baltimore, right off of Pennsylvania Avenue. But I come here with a little bit of street cred. I'm just excited. This is the highlight of my week for many reasons. But before I get started, I want to acknowledge 2 special people who helped me along the way, and without them, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the things that I've been able to do, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, and I won't be long. I know you want to get your diplomas, but I think what I have to say hopefully will inspire you. I hope to say something to you that you never heard from the police before. I know a lot of you heard a lot of things from the police, but I hope that I say something as a police official that I think you should know. But I just want to acknowledge my Deputy Chief, if he'll stand up, Mr. Stanley Bradford. And I don't have to tell y'all, stand up, Rob, he's the man. And if you don't mind me talking about it, Rob, I remember when Rob was a young officer, just out the academy, and he and I would talk, and he told me, how long has it been? Over 25 years we've known each other, and how he wanted to do something different, and he shared his background growing up in Park Heights. I shared mine, and we had so much in common. As a matter of fact, a lot of people mistake us for each other. When he first came to Annapolis, they all stood at attention when he walked in. They thought he was the chief. They say we look alike. So I just want to acknowledge you and thank you. I also want to thank the National Center on Institutions and Alternatives, very important work. I've long argued that crime prevention and crime avoidance has everything to do with opportunity. Everybody hear me? Your government hasn't served you wrong. Well, I don't have to stand up here before you and talk about the legacy of Jim Crow and discrimination and lack of access to capital and lack of opportunity. Everybody knows that, right? I don't have to talk about that. I don't have to talk about Dr. King, who I love, or Brother Malcolm. We all know the struggle, right? But at the core of it, I've long argued as a college professor and as a police official that crime is a result not of an individual's free will. The devil doesn't sit on one shoulder and the angel on another, and whoever makes the most compelling argument wins, and your behavior is guided by that. There's social factors. It's tied to the economy. It's tied to the fact that many of us are in environments where excellence is not modeled for us, right? We criminalize the disease of addiction and alcohol dependence. We criminalize it. They're diseases. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that it's a disease and then criminalize it. We've filled our prisons with people who shouldn't be there. They should be in treatment. They should be in programs like this, but yet our government saw fit to incarcerate them because they don't want to address it, right? So I'm determined for the rest of my life. I'm 62 years old, so I probably have more time behind me than I have in front of me. But I'm going to take the rest of my life and use the platform for however long God gives it to me to preach this, to preach those type of messages that in order for us to have strong communities, in order for us to thrive as a people, first thing we have to do is our government has to acknowledge that they were wrong. And then not only acknowledge it, because I don't know about you, but I'm sick of slick talking politicians. I'm tired of slick talking people who come in and tell you what you want to hear just to get out the room and go into the next venue, right? I'm more interested in what you do as opposed to what you say. I enjoy an eloquent speaker, don't get me wrong. I enjoy being moved to tears, but I also enjoy a bank account. And I enjoy having to earn my money with a sense of dignity and a sense of purpose. I like what you said. I love what you said. You all said so many things that inspired me. It's not all about the money all the time. Sometimes you have to make the investment in yourself, right? And then those things will do what? Come to you, right? Life is all about that. It's a spiritual principle. When you plant seeds of destruction, the harvest is going to be destruction. But when you plant positive seeds, then you can expect the harvest to be positive, right? It amazes me how these politicians stand up there and say we need more police and more enforcement and all this other kind of stuff. Well, I'll use another analogy. And I'm going to make my deputy chief laugh. He'd love to hear me say this, but if you plant apple seeds, what's the harvest going to be? It's going to be apples. A lot of times we plant apple seeds and wish for oranges. It's not happening. So when we plant the seeds of destruction in this community, and we are often our mind is overwhelmed with violence and negativity, the right to manhood and womanhood. We're taught systematically, the enemy, that it's in your ability to assail people violently. That's not what a man or a woman is about. Sometimes it takes far more courage when you know you have the ability to take somebody out, but have the strength to walk away. Everybody still with me? And so this is what this is all about. I know I've been in law enforcement for 40 years. I came here 40 years in this business. Like I said, after growing up in Flag House, my brother went to the old St. Leo's in this very building. So I'm no stranger to this area. I live 107 Albemarle Street, apartment 3E. So I understand the area, right? And so I know the power when somebody invests in you. I'm not standing up here today because I'm a pretty boy and people like me. I'm standing up here today because somebody saw something in me and invested in me. You know what I mean? I just didn't get here by ourselves. And if we're honest, none of us got where we are. Somebody helped us along the way and didn't judge us. So I'm calling for a new paradigm. And a paradigm is a way of thinking and doing, right? A new paradigm shift. That if we're ever going to bring peace in these neighborhoods, Mr. Mayor and City Council, then we have to start making real investments, not rhetoric, not persuasive language, but real investments. Show me how much you love me through your money and your funding and opportunity, right? If it's easy, then why do it? See, we always take the easy way out. If we can't fix it, then we say it can't be fixed. Well, we didn't elect you to say that. We can say that our damn self, right? So we elect you and appoint you and give you this power because you convinced us that you have the ability to solve problems and we can't. Am I still making sense? So my hat goes off to each and every one of you because each and every one of you have a journey. Each and every one of you, and I appreciate people like that has been through something and overcame. That's pretty impressive, right? It's easy to be a doctor when your daddy was a doctor and his daddy was a doctor. It's easy to graduate from Yale when your daddy graduated from Yale and his daddy graduated from Yale and you come from a legacy of that. It's easy, right? When you're born into this world, right, with privilege and opportunity. So it's easy to stand up here and say, well, I earned my medical degree. Yeah, you earned it, but you were born into it. It's another thing to say, I overcame addiction. I survived incarceration. It's easy to say, yeah, my parents didn't always treat me right. I was abused, I was bullied, but I'm here. I'm still standing here. So don't let anybody dismiss you. I don't care who it is. You hold your head up high. Each one teach one. Take this together. I like what the culinary person said too. She sat up here and said very eloquently, she wanted to change her legacy. And so that's what it's all about. And we have to learn that. We don't think our legacy is important, but it lays the template for future generations in our family. I was able to go to school and graduate, and my sons never knew what the projects was. That's another story for another time. They spoiled because they never had to struggle for anything. I'm one of those guys now that laid the foundation so my children wouldn't have to struggle and overcome the challenges that I had to overcome, right? My children never had to get stabbed like I did on North Avenue in a robbery. They never were exposed to that because people invested in me. I was able to get out of that and rise above it, right? And stand before you this day as a police chief. So a whole lot of things, y'all, I wanted to be when I grew up, or thought I would be. Coming from Flag House, I never thought I'd be a police chief. And so it's pretty interesting what God has for you. No man can take it from you anyway. But faith without works is what? Dead. So when God plants the seed, gives you the inspiration, then all you have to do is your part by getting up and showing up, right? And many of you are where you are today and about to get your certification, culinary, HVAC, and all these wonderful trades that will earn you a decent living so you don't have to go back to the underworld, right? And then you can earn your paycheck with dignity, not blood money, but earned money. Everybody still with me? So I'm going to end with saying just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a wonderful day. This is what it's all about. It's not all about standing up and saying, well, we arrested this person and arrested that person. We brought down this organization. Yeah, we don't want, there's too much violence in Baltimore. There's too much self-hatred. And that has to change. But at the end of the day, this is about what's going on right here. I mean, I'm sitting up here and I'm so inspired by the number of people here. So whatever we can do, is that right, Deputy Chief? Whatever we can do, right, Rob? Whatever we can do, we're going to do it. And I want to stand before you with credibility, not a bunch of words, but with credibility. So this is not crime prevention. This is the Lord's work. Yes, this is ordained by God. So congratulations to each and every one of you. And not only that, on behalf of Mayor Gavin Buckley, the mayor of Annapolis, which all the graduates, prayerfully, you can bring your families out. We have a nice celebration beyond today planned for you in the city of Annapolis. We have citations from the governor or from the delegate, each and every graduate. We're going to plan a big cookout. We got to celebrate this. You have to celebrate wins. Thank you all.
Thank you again, Chief Jackson. And I love how you wrapped up what you were saying, your address to our guests today as far as overcoming. So the next person that I want to introduce is my grandfather. Sorry, that's my inside joke between me and Gary. No, so Gary Antonino, yes, exactly. He went on a little sabbatical to Cumberland, Maryland for 87 months. Am I right, Gary? I said 85 one time and he got really mad. He said, Kayla, how are you gonna tell my story if you don't know the details? So he went on a little sabbatical, Cumberland, Maryland, 87 months, left a great job at MetLife, went away to help some people that he met and got to dorm with and really, get to learn. But he helped them to identify transferable skills. He helped them to build their resumes. His wife, Carmela, sent in job postings for them to apply when they returned home. So that kind of was the conception of what we have here today. His wife also found his job here at NCIA, where he assisted Herbert Holter, our CEO and co-founder, with some legal mitigation work that he was doing. So stories are amazing, but to talk about overcoming, going away and spending time away and then coming back, having some charges and things like that. And now he's here, Chief Business Development Officer, overseeing operations for 5 vocational training centers. We plan to have 8 within the next 2 years. So that's a story of overcoming that I love. I'm grateful to be a part of his new life, and I thank him all the time. So here's my grandfather, Gary Antonino.
So there is a sign that hangs at the center, and it says, behind you are the challenges you met. Before you lies new possibilities. And today, each of you choose the direction of your life.
And it is so true with what I heard today. And I'm sure you're going to hear Herb say something in a few minutes that, hey, we did it. We're on our way with what we're trying to do. We're really trying to just help individuals that deserve that second chance and need that help. So first of all, congratulations to each of you. Really, really proud of what you accomplished. So before I ask Herb to come up and say a few words, I want to tell you a quick story about Officer Horn, because none of this happens without a whole army of individuals that work to make all this go the way we want it to. So I think it was, I'm not sure, as Kayla said, I'm her grandfather, so I'm kind of losing track of years. But I guess it was the catalyst was the Freddie Gray tragedy that happened in Baltimore. And when that happened, Earl El-Amin, and I don't know if Earl's here today, but Earl and I got together and we had a gentleman that was working with us at our corporate office, and we decided that I talked to Herb and the idea was, why don't we go into Penn and North the day after that happened. And I was watching the news that night, and there was a gentleman, very gracious gentleman, that brought some canned goods and put them in front of the CVS with a token to say that people need help and they need food and the community needs help. And I turned to my wife and I said, it's great what that gentleman did, but they also need opportunity. That community needs opportunity. And so I talked to Herb, and we got a food truck the next day. I think it was 2 days after the tragedy happened. And we went down to North and Penn. And I hadn't met Officer Horn prior to that. And so we were on a corner, we picked out a corner, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye, there was a police car about half a block away. And it was just parked there. There was a gentleman sitting in that police car. And so as the day went on, I was a little nervous. There's this old white guy standing on the corner of North and Penn, and we're taking applications, and we have a food truck. So that day we served 500 hamburgers, 500 hot dogs, and took 200 applications. What you might not know is that NCIA is one of the largest second chance agencies in Maryland. Herb employs over 500 people at NCIA, and you want to talk about not being judged. Imagine a person getting out of prison after spending 87 months, a sentence, and this gentleman hires Gary Antonino. So as we all sit in prison, we know, what are we going to do next with our life? And we're felons. We have a felony charge. Who's going to want us? Who's going to hire us? So that day, at the end of the day, it was about 5 o'clock, and it's this, I will never forget this as long as I live. There are things that stick in your mind. So about 5 o'clock, there's a gentleman that comes out from nowhere, and he's a pastor, and he said, there's somebody here that wants to talk to you. And all of a sudden, this entourage of pretty husky, well-built African-American men come out of nowhere, and I said, oh, whoa. And I noticed that Officer Horn steps out of his car. Now he's standing. And I said, So I'm a little nervous at that point, and I'm a little shaken, and the beads of sweat are coming off my forehead. And all of a sudden, out of the middle comes a gentleman, and he walks up to me, and he gives me a hug. And he says, hey, man, I appreciate what you did here today. He said, I don't know of any white guy that's ever come down here on this corner and has done this, but we appreciate you. And all of a sudden, he disappeared. And the pastor said to me, hey, do you know who that was? I said, I have no idea. And he said, well, that was the head of the Crips in Baltimore. And so at that point, I waved Officer Horn over, and he walked me to my car, and I went home. But the moral of the story is this. The moral of the story is this. This man, and Walter has worked so close, and Earl, with Officer Horn, we developed a friendship, and we developed a passion for what we wanted to do. And I can remember the day that, you've got a CEO of a major company that's been around for 44 years. And I went into Herb and I said, hey, we got this idea. We want to open up this vocational training center. And NCIA's corporate campus is located in Baltimore County. And we've never done anything in the city of Baltimore. So, it's no secret that I'm Italian and that St. Leo's is near and dear to this community, because I call it the heartbeat of this community. And Walter and I were looking on the internet one day for where can we find a place. And Walter goes, hey, did you see this? And I said, hey, did you see this? And all of a sudden, we're looking at the same building at 301 South Central Avenue. So we go into Herb, and here's the kind of guy Herb is. Most CEOs are going to tell you, write me a proposal, and after 4 or 6 months of analyzing it and doing everything, they're going to come back to you and give you an answer. Not Herb. Herb gave me the answer that day. And so, Chief, you talked about people being judged, because when you do have a felony charge, everybody judges you. And if you got 9 applications that an owner's looking from, and 8 of them are clean, and 1 of them has a felony charge, they're probably not even going to call us. But one thing I learned in Cumberland, I was on a wing with 49 other men that shouldn't have been there, the majority of them. Low-level drug charges, ridiculous charges, should never have been there. But I learned one thing, every one of them deserved a second chance in life. Every one of them deserved the things that we're doing right now at this center. So, with that being said, when I met Herb, there was no judgment, none at all. He hired me. I worked beside him for 3 years at the head office, and as Kayla said, Baltimore opened September 11th of 17. Charlotte opened January of 2020. It's led by no other than Katie Holter, the daughter of our CEO, to carry on the mission. Raleigh opened in March. Philadelphia opened last month. I can tell you this, Chief, that the program director in Philadelphia, the person in Philadelphia that is Ahmad's counterpart, is the former district attorney of Philadelphia that was just released from prison, and he's on probation, but he is our program director there. So like you said, you can sit around and you can talk about all the things, but we're hiring individuals that have felony charges. That's who we are. That's who this man is. So DC is set to open. Kayla, we're going there Monday. DC is set to open Monday. So we're on a mission, and the mission is simple: to serve the individuals that are in this room in many different areas. So people always ask when they come in, students say, who's Herb Holter? Ladies and gentlemen, meet Herb Holter.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You'd have told me 44 years ago I'd be here doing this, I wouldn't have believed you. I started my career in 1972 in the police department. At that time, I'd gone to University of Buffalo. I majored in English and sports, okay, not necessarily in that order. But I came out and I'd worked with kids, I'd coached kids, I had done a lot of different things in my athletic career. So I got offered a job in a police department, and at that time they're running what they called a Police Community Services Unit, PCSU. They gave me a little badge like I could be something, you know, although I wasn't, okay. And I ran a program, and what they did was, in the police department, if they picked up a young man, young woman, and they hadn't committed a real violent crime, no guns, no knives, but they're breaking in, doing drugs and things like that, they'd say, send him to Holter. Holter will take care of him, he'll do something with him. So it's about 2 years into the program, about 1974 at this point, and I was doing all the things that we would all do if we were running a program for kids. I got an after-school program going, I got a mentoring program, I went to the local Honda shop and got mini bikes so that if they came to the counseling sessions, they could ride bikes. And I thought, man, I'm on top of the world. I'm doing all this stuff right. And true to form in my world, I started a basketball team. I used to coach right around the corner at IND. It's Notre Dame. I had a great girls team there for about 8 years. I'm real proud of that team. And so I had a basketball team going. We played every Saturday morning. We'd meet at the police station, and then go to the game. So one Saturday morning I show up. I got like 4 kids there, and I said, like, where's Dante? And, where's Tyrone? Where's my gang? And they said, well, they got picked up last night. They broke into a warehouse or something. They got picked up, and they're up at industry. And I said, what's industry? And industry was the Charles Hickey School of New York State. There was a juvenile prison. It was in Rochester, New York, about 60 miles away. And so I can't have a game. I only got 4 kids. So I went to industry, and that changed my life. I went there, excuse me, saw my kids, a couple of them beat up, one of them already raped, one of them in a strip cell, and I said, I'm not gonna do this. I got back in my car, went back to Niagara Falls, New York, and said, I'm gonna sell shoes or do something else, or I could read about what I'm doing and get better at it. And I read about this guy, Jerry Miller, who had closed all the juvenile prisons in Massachusetts. And I heard that he was going to be the commissioner of juvenile prisons in Pennsylvania. And I'm in New York State, up above Pennsylvania. So I said, and it was fortuitous, but I got a scholarship, an academic scholarship, to go back to school for my master's in social work. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to school in social work, and I'm going to go to Pennsylvania and go to school. And I said to my wife at the time, she's since passed, I said to my wife, I want to move to Pennsylvania, go to school, and I want to go work for this guy. And she said, what are you talking about? He's not going to talk to you. So we moved to Scranton, Pennsylvania, went to school. And as soon as I got there, I got my car, drove to Harrisburg, and I knocked on his door, and I said, Dr. Miller, I want to work for you. And the guy said, well, who the hell are you? You know? And I told him my story, and I want to work for you. He said, go back to school, son. So I went back that summer in social work school as a 2-year graduate degree. Next summer, got back in my car, went down, knocked on the door. I said, Dr. Miller, I'm back. He said, you finished already? I said, no, but I got to do an internship. So I worked for him. We closed 2 prisons in Pennsylvania for kids. He asked me in 1977 that I want to come to Washington and start a national organization to promote our values, our programs, our mission. And I said to my wife, you want to move to Washington? She said, no, but I'll move to Baltimore. So we moved to Baltimore. I've been in Baltimore ever since. Will be 44 years this summer that we started NCIA, and we're moving, and we're continuing to develop programs to work with people. And a lot of this hits home for me because in 1992, we did a study here in Baltimore City. And at that point, we found that 54% of black males 18 to 35 were under some type of criminal justice supervision. Think about that for a minute. 54% of black males 18 to 35 were under criminal justice supervision. I said, this has to stop. We need to do something about it. So we started to. And today is the culmination of that. And it's really a special day for all of you. And your journey, you got to understand though, your journey is at halftime right now. Okay, you're at halftime. Okay, we got you this far. You got to put your spikes on and move forward and go out there and get yourself a paying job. And the other thing you need to understand is our work is not done either, because we're going to be here for you. If you have bumps in the road, if you have barriers that you need, we're still going to be here, and we'll be here for you today, tomorrow, and next month, and next year. A few thoughts as we move forward, as you move forward in that. One is never doubt yourself. You've gotten this far. I mean, how many of you 15 weeks ago, 16 weeks ago, thought that you would be here today getting this certificate, getting your industry recognized certificate, and you now have the ability to get a job? You don't have to raise your hands, but never doubt yourself. The second is be proud of who you are and what you have done. As I think somebody mentioned, I think the chief mentioned it. You know, don't put your head down. You're something. You've done something, you've achieved something, so just keep it up. We had the lieutenant governor here for one of our ceremonies last year, I think it was. And the third thing that he said is, don't carry other people's baggage. You know, you got enough baggage to carry. Don't carry other people's baggage. Stand up for yourself and don't carry their baggage. And finally, just ask yourself, you know, why did you do this? I think one of the people mentioned, did you do it for yourself? Did you do it for your family? Did you do it for your children? But you did it. And be proud of that and take that with you. And, you know, our goal here at NCIA, we always say, is changing lives. I heard 4 lives that got changed, as a result of this today. So just keep it up and, be proud of yourself and go out there and get them. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna do this just a tad bit different, but not too different. So let's start with automotive. Vernon, I want you to come up, shake your students' hands. We'll call off their names. Let's get things rolling. Herb, Gary.
First up, can you hear me? First up is David Page. David not here, must be working. Kendall Phillips. He working, so I understand why he's not here. He working. Kendall here? Oh, okay. That's not Kendall, that's Darren.
Oh, no, okay.
Colin, working.
Working.
That's the only excuse. Buttons. There you go, Buttons. Happy you made it, man.
Thank you, bro.
You're welcome, man. Congratulations, brother. Jamal Jones. No, he ain't coming. Dwight. What's up, Dwight? There you go, man. Congratulations, Dwight. Deron Demery. Come on, Bear. Come on, Bear. There you go. Mimi Gladden. Congratulations, man. Happy for you, brother. There you go, Mimi. Dion Hamlin. I guess you heard it, right? Shamel Hazard. Where you at, Haz? Come on, Haz. Congrats, man.
Thanks a lot.
I always get your name wrong, Mila. Mila Green. Congratulations, Mila. Happy for you, man. Congratulations, brother. Maurice Sykes. Come on, Mo. All right, man. Congratulations, Maurice. Sherry Campbell. There you go, Sherry. Congratulations. Happy for you. Terrell Finney. Where you at, Finney? There you go. Daquan Strickland. Strickland come? Charles Bill. Must be working too. No, I'm working, yeah. So those are all of our automotive students. And up next is, what we got? I can do culinary. Can I do culinary, Steve? Come on. Marcel Coleman. I see you with your jacket on. How you doing, Marcel? Happy you made it, brother. Keith Rohrback. Keith make it? Keith didn't make it. Okay. Heather Carey. There you go, Heather. I knew you was here. What's the next one? Ursula Cherry. Thank you, Ursula. And last but not least, Najisha Thompson. Next we will be doing HVAC. Your phone with the phone. Yeah. Darren Shepard. Thank you, Darren. Congratulations, brother. Shalik Johnson. Where's Shalik at? Raymond Parker. Come on, Ray. I saw you. Oh, there you go. Come on, Ray. What those 8.2? Nicholas Basil. I say your name right. Basil. What's up, Ray? Congratulations, man. Congratulations, Nick. Hey, man. Keep it up, brother. David White. Where David at? Thank you. Good. Congratulations, David. Tarico Henderson. Congratulations, brother. Where's Tarico? There you go. Congratulations. Timothy Watley. Here you go, Tim. There you go. You got it, brother. Jamie Hawkins. Over there with your nephew. Okay. Thank you, Jay. My name twin, Ahmad Molden. Where you at? Congratulations. Ronald Sullivan. I see you back there. I see you back there. Come on, Ronald. Who next? Who next? Who next? Derek Holland. There you go. Congratulations, Ronald. There you go, Derek. Congrats, man. Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. Malik Davis. I thought he had work today. Sherman Smith. I know he back there. Congrats, Malik, man. When you start work? When you start work? Monday. My man. Sean Cormier. I see your name right? Here you go, Sherman. Congrats, brother. Black Stars name. LaRue Payton. Is he here? Congrats, Sean. Alan Smith. I saw, there you go. I know it was this somewhere. Y'all showed up for this. That's what I'm talking about. There you go, Alan. Hey, brother. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Lamar Butler. I know I saw Lamar somewhere. Congrats, brother. Happy for you, man. Thank you. Joseph Ransom. TV went off. There you go, Joe, man. Congratulations, man. Just the first. Devon Holmes. That's what I'm talking about. Congrats, man. Dominique Brown. Tamika Johnson. Where's she? I saw her somewhere. Was more age right? I forgot. I put yours down.
Nah, man, you put yours bad.
You welcome, man. Here you go, Tamika. I'm sorry. Congrats. Delonte Hill. Where he at? Here you go, Delonte. Congrats, man. Marcus Pitts. We ain't forget you. You know I ain't forget you.
What a camera, what a camera. That's for my mother, this one.
Jawan Jordan. Jawan Jordan. Hey, there you go, Jawan. Congrats, man. There you go. Rico Wallace. He ain't show up, did he? He ain't coming. Claude Brandon. Claude Brandon. Claude not here either? Rodney Jones. Don't put them on the paper? Oh, I did them already. They ain't come. Thank you, Rodney. Congrats, man. Demisi Jones. Oh, yeah, Demisi. That's what I'm talking about. There you go, man. Congrats, brother. Shamar Green. Shamar Green. Darren Griffin. Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Long
Man.
time coming.
Yes, sir.
I want to put it up there.
Denise Jones and Darren are both returning students.
Knock it up.
They were from a previous cohort. Life wound up sending them a curve. They dealt with it, came back and succeeded and completed the course.
Yes, they did. The Tico Dillard. There you go. Clean too. Look at him.
I'll get you some crispy crunchy when we leave. You heard?
Fraser Wallace. Fraser Wallace. Delonte King. Happy for you, man. Congratulations, brother. Congrats, man. Larry Taylor. Larry didn't come? DeWee Felton. Look at, oh man, look at him. You gotta get a picture of this guy. Come on, DeWee. Already got a job. Oh, that's a working man right there. Congrats, man.
Thought everybody was dressing up today.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you so much, you all. That's CDL.
Okay.
I think it's all HVAC. Is CDL left? You saw through everybody was dressing up today. Okay. And for the CDL class, we have Ryan Morgan. Chantel Lovett. Where's she at? There she go. Come on, Chantel. Miguel. Congratulations, Chantel. Rashad Brown. Andre Dotson. Claire. Oh, go ahead, Andre. Congrats, man. Antoine Jones. See, you know we forgot about you. Congrats, man. Arthur Yates. Christian Williams. Come on, Christian. Come on, Christian. I know it with your resume. I got you. Dwayne Kutchenberg. Oh, all right, well, I got your name right. Earl Blandon. Come on, Earl. Here you go, sir. Congratulations, Earl. First one out the gate. Raymond Matt. There you go. Here you go, Rick. Congrats, man. Here we go. Sheila Murray. There you go, Miss Sheila. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. You got it. Seti Baker. I know we here. My man. Congrats, man. Congratulations, man. Happy for you, brother. Thomas Woods Jr. Come on, Thomas. There you go. Congrats, man. You gonna make me cry.
With my box. I did this on the box.
On the box. Vincent Brown. Yeah, work. That's a good enough excuse. Told you to take care of it. I believe you. Tim Fields. Where you at? There you go. Congrats, man. You got you. Roberta George. And she got her license. Dante Hopkins. Already got a job and his license. Congrats, man. Damon Reeder. Damon not here? Where Damon at? I said Ronnie Morgan already. Good work, everybody. Yeah, they didn't come. I think we covered everybody. It's always awkward trying to close these things out because there's so much great energy in the room. Why are you back? Oh.
I was about to say, wait, don't tell us we made a mistake on the microphone. Oh.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Can I get one quick thing? So I'm going to hand it over to Gary in 1 second to do the official closeout. I just want to thank all of the students for trusting us for the past 3.5 months, trusting me, trusting the entire team, Noni, Ebony in the back, Sean was around here, Ken, Shamia. It's a group of us who works really hard behind the scenes. Serena, B, if you're in auto, it's a group of us who come here every day. I haven't said Ken for sure. Absolutely said Ken. I said Ebony, I forget Ebony. But it's a group of us who work really hard every day to make sure these events happen. So I just want to shout them out as well. Thank you.
Okay, so gentlemen, you can have a seat. So just a couple of things, and while I talk for just another 2 minutes before we leave, I'm going to ask Ahmad and the regional entire staff, please come up here. So everyone that has supported and worked on this, please come up front.
Noni, Serena, Jonathan, Ken, Ebony.
So I want to tell you about a project, and mainly, I'm so grateful. Okay, just hold on a couple minutes, everybody. So I'm so grateful that the chief took time out of his busy schedule to come here and be with us today. But Chief, one of the problems that one of the projects that we're working on, and I want some of the individuals that are in the room. Can I just have your attention for 1 second? So I want some of the individuals in the room, if they can imagine this for a minute, because this is the next step for what we're trying to do. So imagine if we were still incarcerated and we were 10 weeks away from release, and we could come into the facility and get the theory out of the way, so that now when an individual is released from incarceration, they are 5 weeks away from getting their hands-on done in employment. Imagine the difference it would make in their lives. So that's the next journey that we're on. We've made great headway in North Carolina. We have a facility in North Carolina that has a very proactive head of he's the sheriff actually of Mecklenburg County, very proactive like you are, Chief. So we're hoping that we can bring that model, because remember, you set the tone for the individuals that are coming behind you. And we say this all the time. It's so important for us to have the success together so that the program can continue on for the brothers and sisters that we have. So again, that's the next journey that we want to go on, and we're really excited about that. I asked the staff to come up. Krista, come up here for 1 second, please. I want you to come over here for a minute, because Krista's going to explain to you what you have that you're going to be leaving with today. But I also want to say, the individuals that are standing in front of this room, nothing happens without each and every one of them. So I also want to say thank you to each and every one of them for everything that they do. So the chef has prepared a grab and go for you, since we're still in the COVID area. So Chef, why don't you explain to them the grab and go and what's in the bag today?
What we'd like to do first is move those tables closer to the exit. So the bags, they're grab and goes. The ones that are in the red and white are chicken salad wraps. with a hot milk cake with peanut butter and Nutella icing, and then a fruit salad with a little chili lime. Anyone's a vegetarian, I did make about a dozen of vegetarian wraps, and those are in a white and blue bag. Okay, so I didn't forget about you vegetarians, all right? Don't worry about that.
Before you all leave, if I could just have all of the graduates come to the front. We do want to get a group photo of you all, please.
Wait.
Thank you.
One second. We're gonna do one more thing. Just 1 second. Just sit 1 more second. Hold on. So, as we are here at St. Leo's, I wanted to ask Father Leo to come up and just say a closing prayer for us as we head out into our journey. Father? Come on, Kristen. Father has been such a great, can I have your attention for 1 more second? Father's been such a great supporter of our program. Hey, 1 minute. Father's been such a great supporter of our program, so I wanted him to close this out with a little prayer. Father?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to remember that God is the inspiration, He is your motivation, He is your goal. And so we ask God's continued blessings on all of you. May all that you have learned be put into action. All that you have received be given in grace. And may all that you experience with God's grace be something that you help others to experience. And we ask this in His most powerful name. Amen. Go forth, proclaim the good news by your lives.
Great to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
I mean, I literally just got to this whole organization, but I've been inspired by what I've experienced so far. What a pleasure to meet you. Really, I mean, I'm only new to NCIA from like literally less than a month ago, but it's been amazing to see this.
You said Mass at St. Leo's before the pandemic hit for Ash Wednesday, and your closing remarks was, I got you out of here in 28 minutes.
I'm a fast food kind of guy. Congratulations.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for making me be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All righty, let's go talk about it.
Yeah.